out there. Good afternoon. Good brunch. Hope you guys had some brunch. Maybe you're still eating. Welcome, welcome to my home and to my show. I have a very fun show prepared for you today. Again, a little bit of health, a little bit of this, and a little bit of that. So let's get just right into it. But before I do, I just would like to say something. The show has been on now for a little bit less than 2 years. Amnon, our producer, say hello to the folks out there.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah. And without his help and without him, this show would not be. And, we've been now on the air and for you, educating you and entertaining you at times. We have had very little feedback. We say it every time, and I know it probably for those people that have heard it before, it's a little bit of a bore. But please, guys, we do want to have some feedback. If we don't know what we're doing right, and if we don't know what we're doing wrong, then we can never ever change it. You don't when you tap in or you call in, this is not recorded in any way. You're not obligating yourself. Your email is not saved. Only the bandwidth, right, Amnon?
Well, if they call in, then it is recorded.
Yes, it's recorded the question, right?
It records whatever they say. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, email we don't keep. No.
No, we don't keep that. You're not going to be obligated. We're not going to bombard you afterwards
No.
with selling things or anything. So please, there's no
Actually,
risk.
there is a form in the menu on the left to send feedback or critique or something like that. I can't remember, and it doesn't even require your email address.
Oh, terrific.
It
See?
is, what is it? It is rate a show. It's
Perfect.
on the left, rate a show, and it just has, I think, 3 questions, and it doesn't even require your email address. You can do it anonymously.
Oh, terrific. We need to hear because if I don't know what you like or what you don't like, I'm sort of like, I feel like I'm in the dark here. I'm sort of groping around saying, ooh, what would these folks what would they would like, I can guess. I usually use topics around health. Sometimes I rant and rave a little bit about something else. But I try to answer questions and I try to be so that you feel, wow, she's really telling me something that I can use. So please let me know. Please. So again, it's no fun if we don't know what you folks like. So let's just jump right into whatever. I mean, if you guys are as tired, sick and tired, really, of this political stuff that is going on out there, then I won't really mention anything else because I think we're going to all be not really surprised, or hopefully we're going to be very, very surprised. So, but I've learned something, and I know that you probably all have too, or maybe you all have known that the Electoral College is really the ones that make the decisions. So it's really out of our hands. So enough said of that, right?
There was a story that
But
we
what?
talked. There was a story that I read this week, and we talked about it on my show earlier today. That the Clinton campaign hired online trolls, people to go in there and wherever they see somebody who supports Bernie, they argue with them and they debate them and
They
they're doing
do.
and
They
they
have
do
done me.
yeah.
Yes.
Yep. So that's really dirty.
Very,
Yep.
very dirty. And let me tell you guys, if we do not, I don't care. One of the best things I heard this morning was, I watched that political debate like at 12 o'clock our time here. And they said, if we don't go out to vote, we will have the sky falling in on our head, because we will have exactly the candidate that we do not want. Go out and vote. I don't care who you vote for. Well, I do care, but I can't change that. But please go and vote. Make your voice heard. If you did not register yet, go register immediately tomorrow. Vote. Make your voice heard. If you cannot vote for some reason or another, work for the candidate, do phone calls, help your candidate. Because if we don't get engaged, folks, nothing will change, or maybe it will change to the worse. And in my opinion, having the worst is having this deranged teenager in the White House. So I think really that we need to make our voice heard. Obviously, the Republican Party has not come up, other than Kasich, which has been really bad-mouthed by the media, has had not the media support that he should have. You know, the people have to make their voice heard. There has to be a revolutionary idea within the people that they say, we are owning this. It's our country. It's not their country. It is not these people.
They're
It's not
they're
the
do, they're
government.
they're doing it.
Absolutely, but not enough. Not enough. They have done polls where they know that only about 60% of all people will vote.
Yeah.
Now, I
That
love this. I think, was it North Carolina or South Carolina?
that what?
Uh, that the governor allows people that have been convicted of a crime and have served their time, because up to this point, if you were convicted of a crime, most states are like that,
I have no idea.
you're not allowed to vote.
I don't think it's North Carolina. I haven't heard anything on the news here.
Ah, okay. Well, one of the mid, or maybe Virginia, I don't know. One of the states it was. What a sane governor. These people have served their crime. They have done the duty to society. They should be allowed to vote again. And if we could all, they did a poll, that one I do remember, is 1 out of 13 African Americans that has been convicted of a crime. 1 out of 13. I mean, that's horrendous. Now, not that they are particularly violent, they're just often particularly targeted. We know that. But they can't vote. They're out of the population, really, in reality. So no matter what, they can't do anything about it. So that should be. But we can't do anything about that in this election. But everybody who is allowed to vote, everybody who's over the age of 21, and if you're under 21 and you cannot vote yet, go out there and campaign for your candidate, because we need to be even more engaged than we are. Bernie Sanders said we need a political revolution, but it cannot be without the engagement of the people. And that is exactly right. We have to be 100% engaged. I mean, this has been going on too long. It's way out of proportion. It is way out of everything. Let's get it right. All right, guys. You know that I would vote for Bernie. I don't make any bones about that. I don't know, is he the absolute best? Who knows? Who knows? We don't know. They all seem to be chameleons. When they get into the White House, they all change. Well, Donald Trump has said that he's going to change. He's going to change dramatically. He's going to be totally different when he gets into the White House. I find that a little scary, but at least with this, with his behavior, I know what we got. With the other behavior, we have no idea what we're going to get. So I don't know. Anyway, let's get to business. Let's talk about our own health and our sanity. Now we know for a fact that when you're sick, your mind does not really work properly. I mean, somehow when you're really desperately ill, you seem to lose focus, you seem to lose memory, you seem to lose, nothing really works. The entire body is sick. So if you have an illness in, let's say, your liver or your kidney or your bladder, or you have a heart illness or whatever, one of your organs, the entire body is compromised, not just that one organ. So we have to remember that. And if you are ill already, then listen to the things that I'm going to tell you today, because those things will help the entire body to righten itself. Now, don't stop your medicines that the doctors are giving you, although I don't agree with all of these medicines. Some of these medicines are just ridiculous with the side effects. But once in a while, you need to take those. And you can bolster your health with some of the superfoods that they have learned about. Now, one of the superfoods that I am totally in love with is black rice. People who have not heard of black rice is a rice that grows black, but it is totally different than white rice or brown rice. Black rice was called the forbidden rice because it was only harvested and served to royalty in China, because they wanted the royalty to, and it was only in small amounts. Because at that time, they had no idea of what really the properties of black rice were, which they know now. Now, black rice is also much more expensive than white rice or brown rice, but you also need a lot less, whereby you have a whole cup full of white rice to make you feel filled up. A few tablespoons of black rice. I mean, I have always black rice on the stove. I have always have some cooked black rice. And if I feel hungry during the day and I just want to have a snack, I just take a teaspoonful of black rice. And it makes me feel satisfied immediately. Why? Here are the stats for black rice. They have more protein and fiber than any other rice variety, with an 8.5 grams of protein and a 4.9 grams of fiber per 100 grams. That's huge, folks. Black rice is also a good source of iron, very good for women. Vitamin B, fabulous for everybody. And magnesium. Magnesium makes you sleep at night better. So if you wanted to have a teaspoon of black rice in the evening, have it, you'll sleep a lot better. It is also known to lower the glycemic index more so than white rice or brown rice, making it a very, very advantageous side dish to people who have a blood sugar imbalance, like I have. That's why I probably love it so much. With a low GI rating of 42.3, black rice easily beats out brown and white rice, which are 50 and 89. 89 for white rice is a GI rating, respectively. You know what the GI rating means. It means that is the rating that they give to the product that makes it slower or faster to assimilate in the body. So white rice is sort of like you're eating sugar. It goes into the bloodstream immediately. And brown rice has a little less, it's about 50. And then black rice is only 42.3, which is a lot lower. It also has a lot of antioxidants, and the pigments seem to reduce inflammations and combat free radicals. So anybody who has an arthritis problem or a cancer problem, start eating black rice. Now, there is another antioxidant product I just found out about. And it's starting to really make the rounds in the natural health community. Even though it has been for many years in Asia, people have known. Now, we all know acai berries. They are huge antioxidant, have huge antioxidant products. But the ombashi plums, which are just really apparently a superfood of unprecedented curative power, they get fermented, they get picked, and then they get fermented. They're a lot like, sauerkraut. They say to eat sauerkraut at least a spoonful or two a week. It helps to keep your intestinals at a healthy level. And we know that if your gut, all your digestive system is out of whack, your body is out of whack. You will have lower memory memory ability. You will have higher ability that you will get colds. You will be susceptible to all kinds of other immune system. And they have now found that many arthritis sufferers also have digestive problems. And they find that there is a real correlation in there. So make sure that you eat yogurt, that you eat some sauerkraut. And if you wanted to be a little bit more exotic, the umeboshi plums, they have a sort of a salty, sweet, sour taste once they are fermented. And you can have them either, which I will tell you later about, in a blender type of thing, or you can make it into, you can even make little black rice balls. Stick one of these little plums in there and have that as a snack. I'm going to try that next. I will report on that and see. Now, where do we buy the ombashi plums? They are apparently sold at Whole Foods. So I'm going to see that I make out a Whole Foods here. And if you guys beat me to it, please let me know. Anybody know about the omobashi plums?
I've
None. Have you ever heard of them?
I've never heard of it.
Yeah. Many people have not. It's something that is just coming west right now. It's called in Japan the hangover cure. And it fights general nausea and fatigue. And it is the powerful connection between brain and gut axis. And that is exactly what is amiss when the gut goes out of whack, was either the balance of good bacteria to bad bacteria is on an imbalance, then we get that. And like I said, a lot of people who get headaches, often when they come to me, and I often ask them of how their elimination is and what they eat. Many people who get a lot of headaches, it has something to do of how they treat their colon and their digestive system. So I like to know more about it also. I'm going to investigate it. Excuse me, please, guys. And I will report on that. I will also report on some of those things, how they pertain to maybe to our animals. Although our animals don't have, our cats and dogs don't have the same digestive system as we have. So we don't have to worry about that too much. But I can tell you this, that all of my animals in the morning, my husband and I, we always have yogurt first. I usually have uncultured yogurt that is not in any way treated. It's made from whole milk. It's just sour whole milk. And my husband eats the other kind, the sweetened kind, with all the stuff in it. But I don't like that. So I eat the whole milk, and I make it the sour milk, and I just make it often myself when I have the time. I just pour whole milk into a bowl, and I put it into a cool, dark place not with a saran wrap, but with a clean dish towel over it. And I leave it there for a day or two, sometimes 3 days. It depends of how cool it is. It has to be the right temperature. It has to be around 50, 60 degrees for the milk to sour. And you probably know that from your childhood, because I know that much in the older days, we used to make these yogurts ourselves, which are not real yogurts, but
Yep, all
yeah.
kind of, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, and the sour milk like that is really the best. The best thing is to use unpasteurized milk for that. And when I have that, one of my cats is always there. She has to lick the bowl afterwards. And all three of our dogs get a spoonful every morning. I guess that's why they are so fantastically healthy. It's because they are, and it seems like they crave it too. It's not just that they like it, but but they really go for it. When we have our breakfast like that, they are sitting right there, and they each have their dish. They get a spoonful, and they lick it up, and they love it. So try that with your animals too. The black rice, I don't know. I haven't tested that yet because most our dogs don't get any any kitchen scraps or so on. They just get their raw food, and they really don't even get any other treats in that 1 teaspoon of yogurt. And it's not that we don't love them, we do love them, but we feel, and I know that most of these treats are not very healthy for them. These dog bones and so on, especially the smaller dogs, that just makes them fat and does not really help their digestive system. But all our kitchen scraps go to the chickens, and they give us fabulous eggs. So that comes, there I come to my next topic, and that is recycling. I am on the trend right now to recycle and to make my total household totally green. Now, I don't think I had a discussion with my husband this morning about a few of the changes I wanted to make. He was not terribly enthused about it because it will cost money and it will cost effort. But we have the property that we live on. It has no blacktop, has no oil top. We have very, very little concrete except for our house, the foundation, and we have no cellar, so we didn't need a lot of concrete. Our house is made with wood and stone. Stone, I live in an area where the stone is abundance. I mean, you walk, we grow stone. We don't grow potatoes or anything here. We grow stone. It's a big shell pit here, and so we have a lot of stone. So the person who built this house was in the same trend as I am, to make the smallest impact footprint that we could make. And we still are using propane and electricity, but the next thing will be I will put some solar panels onto my roof and have at least if not totally, which I don't think I will generate enough power because we have a lot of trees around us to power the house totally, but I will at least have a partial power that I can power the house partially. Now, I also just finished the remodeling of my husband's old office, which is a 260 square foot small building that is on our property, right? And I converted that into a guest home. Now, what I did there, I said, I want this to be as clean and green as I can possibly make it. And what I did is I put an instant water heater in there. Now, these instant water heaters are fantastic. What they do is they only give you hot water when you need it. They don't have a boiler. They don't store the water in a boiler so that the water gets heated and heated and heated. Even if you're on vacation, if you don't shut it off, it keeps getting heated and heated and heated. And that's a waste of power and resources. These instant water heaters, you turn the faucet on, you wait a half a minute, and you have hot water, real hot water. It's fantastic. It's a huge money saver and resource saver.
And
The second,
unlike conventional water heater, this never runs out of hot water.
never runs out. You have unlimited water. Yes. The other thing that I did in there is I did not put a sewage pipe into it because I would have had to disrupt our whole front yard and under the deck and so on. That was not possible. So what we did is we put a thicker gravel pit for the gray water in, uh, right next to the house. We put a deck over it so you don't see it, you don't smell it, and it's just gray water. So the water from the sink and from the shower just runs right into it. What that also does, it replenishes then, because we have so much sand and shell here, it replenishes the groundwater. So we recycle in reality the water. We are supplying the soap, which is a natural soap without sulfites and so on, for the guest house. Can't use any other soap there. And then what I did is for the toilet, I put a kitty litter toilet in, not even a compost toilet, but a kitty litter toilet. And the kitty litter toilet is a bucket. You don't see it. I mean, it's well contained. It's really nicely done. And there is a heavy plastic bag, and I put kitty litter in there. And when you've gone number two, you don't have to do anything. Number one, don't have to do anything. You gone number two, you put a deodorizing powder. It's for cats. You put a sprinkle of that over it. Close the lid. It never smells. Now, if you've gone a couple of times and you might be very smelly, well, then you take the bag, tie it real well up, and you put it into the trash. Put a new one in. It is the most economic, never stops up, never overflows. You don't waste water, and kitty litter is for the most part very inexpensive. You can buy the inexpensive kind, use it with baking soda. Baking soda absorbs all of the odors. And I have one in my camper, and I put one there. People love it. At first they're sort of, oh, and then when they understand how this really works, they love it. So that is a recycle, definite. Everything in the building, whatever is in the building, whatever I could recycle from things that I have, like I had a lid from a heavy, well, it was really like a refrigerator, but not really. It's aluminum clad. It's outside all aluminum, and inside it's wood. So what I did is I needed a table for outside. I polished this aluminum to a beautiful sheen, and I put it onto a stand, and it made a wonderful table. I had gone last year, and when we have a lot of yard sales around here. So what I did is I go to these yard sales, and I look for old chairs and old rockers and unique chairs, and banged up, or maybe a thing missing or so on. I buy them for a couple of dollars. I never ever pay more than $10. And for $10, they have to be in pretty good shape already. And then I take them home and I paint them. I repair them, and I paint them in pretty colors, like yellow and red and green. And then I use them on my deck. I use them inside. In this little house, I use them inside. I have 2 chairs. I painted. I use them inside. And they work for years and years to come. Why buy new? Why buy for everything new? We have to stop this ferocious consumer thing that we have. Buy new, Use the stuff you have. Recycle, recycle, repair, recycle and repair. That is what, every time I do something like that, I put $5 into a kitty. I have a little dog that is a kitty bag, and I put, sometimes not $5. It depends on what I did. Maybe sometimes just $1. And you know what? On the end of the year, I usually have $20 or $30 in there. Sometimes I do something with it, or sometimes I put it into a savings. You know, um, it's a nice way to help the environment, to help you, and it's a nice way to live. Now, many people say, I don't have the time. I don't have the time to do that. Well, I have news for you. You make a chart of how many hours a week you watch television, how many hours a week you do things that are really not in any which way serving your health or your well-being, the way you live, or even your well-being of your pocketbook. And you chart those down and you see if you cannot make an hour. These things don't take time. With these new spray colors that you can buy, I mean, it's 1, 2, 3. It takes me 15 minutes to repaint a chair. You know, sometimes a little longer if I have to replace something. The tabletop took me about 45 minutes to polish that tabletop because it was really in pretty bad shape. But it was 45 minutes. What is that? If I would buy that, I would have paid a couple of $100 for this table. So you have to think of what is important. What is important? We often don't think about that, the importance of things. Is it important to have the latest, the most advanced, the newest? Or is it important to have a healthy lifestyle, to have things that you can look at and say, I made that. I like that. Think about the importance of these things. And you know, if it is important to you that you have the latest, the newest, the most expensive, well, so be it. I mean, the companies have to live too. To me, it's not that important. Never has been. So I guess you sort of like you are or you aren't, right? Amnon, do we have any comments or questions?
No comments, no questions.
Now everybody loves what I'm saying. I'm just gonna go with that premise. What do you think?
Just do what you want to do. What you're doing is fine.
Well, that's it. That's what I'm gonna do. Now, people, have you noticed how I decorated my face? I ran into the chicken coop roof, which comes out quite a bit, and it was twilight. I saw stars, but I immediately took care of it. I put a little bit of on it, and I put Vaseline on it, thick layer of Vaseline for that evening. By the next
Gisela,
morning, huh?
did somebody start using a computer over there?
No. Why?
Well, because your video is really bad and it stopped a couple of times. You probably want to talk again about that decoration
My
because
bandwidth, yeah.
it was just pieces of it, but it's still not good. It's still
Huh.
it's
How is this going?
no.
Well, then we should maybe quit it because we don't want to annoy people.
Yeah, that's really bad now. All right, let's
I'm going to find out from my what the bandwidth is. Yeah. Plug it in.
I'm ending it. I don't know if you can
Yeah.
hear me.
Right. Bye then, folks.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. Our weekly lineup of call-in programs includes Computers 2K Now with Amnon Nissan, My Life, My Will with Gisela DiCarlo, The Tanya Love Show, Health Then with Debbie Bruck, Breaking Free with Marilyn Shannon, Triangle Be Well with Howard Jacobson, Lunch and Learn with Rabbi Yisrael Cutler, Lessons of Vietnam with NCVVI members, Parent Dome with Ryan Miller, Current Affairs with Amnon Nissan. And if you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section on nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Atomos.com, makers of quality video recorders and converters, CarolinaApparel.com, and DeltaForce.net.